Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing some disc brakes. So what I wanted to go through was we are a part of Fitzgerald Peterbilt, semi-casual, and Fitzgerald Peterbilt is basically the exact same thing, except for we do a lot of really cool custom stuff, and
we never highlight enough on what the dealerships do.
Exactly. Yeah, we've walked through some of the dealerships and some of the videos, but we never really hammer the point home that we are part of Fitzgerald Peterbilt. Semi-casual is part of Fitzgerald Peterbilt. So.
Yeah, I mean, your name's Tommy Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
it kind of makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah, it's all full circle now. So, being part of Fitzgerald Peterbilt, we do get used trucks in. We have several used trucks in stock. We're going to show you guys those in the video, and occasionally we get some questions about disc brakes. And so David was telling me we had a truck that needed disc brakes, and even though that's something we typically don't do over here at the custom shop, we decided, why not do one on the channel?
It's good video content. I mean, everybody knows, and if you don't know, you're going to learn, but disc brakes are way better than drum brakes for a million different reasons. Just a few of them is they stop better.
They stop better, they shorter stopping longer. Distances. Yep, longer lasting.
And they just perform better. They dissipate heat very well.
Yep.
Where like drum brakes can heat soak. So there's a host of things. Not to mention you can change them way faster than drums.
Yeah, and typically, so everybody's seen trucks catch on fire on the side of the interstate at bottoms of the hills. Typically, those trucks are rocking drum brakes.
Yep.
Because, like Brian said, if you get on the brakes and you hold them all the way down the hill, those things hold heat really well, and then they do typically, catch on fire whenever that happens.
And that's not a good date. Nobody wants to catch on fire at the bottom of the hill.
Nope, that's never good. So anyway, disc brakes, they last somewhere in the neighborhood of 500,000 miles. This truck has a little over 400,000 on it. Before we can sell it, it has to be DOT ready. So we got to do a DOT inspection, and the brakes on this truck, unfortunately, would not pass a DOT inspection. So we got to fix that.
Yeah, and something to note, like a lot of our used trucks, well, all of our used trucks, we go through them front to back, just inspect everything. If things need to be addressed, they're addressed, and then we kind of get them, ready to go, and they're work ready.
Yeah.
We're not really like throwing things in the lot at the dealership that are just like complete piles. We make sure all the trucks are up to par and it's a good running truck for anybody,
especially the ones we retail ready. So I mean, we've had some wholesale deals in the past where we'll flip it in an as-is condition, but it's always going to another dealer who will then get it retail ready. So any dealer or any truck that we put on the lot that is going for retail, we typically try to get it past DOT inspection points.
Yep.
So,
and this one's super nice for the mileage and everything else, and it's a really nice truck. We're getting the whole thing done, I'm going to the paint shop to work on our show truck so we can get to the...
Brian's doing more important things. He's going to the body shop today. We have a truck show to make it to.
Yeah, September 16th and 17th, and is it Nacogdoches or Nacogdoches, Texas?
I always called it Nacogdoches.
It's something Nacogdoches for the Old Town Rig Down.
Yep.
So we got a lot to still do before that show, and I'm going down to work on that, and you and Hunter are doing disc brakes on this thing today.
Yep, so we're gonna get the disc brakes done, and then we'll go from there. But first, we're gonna walk you guys around this truck. So let's walk around.
It's for sale too when we get done with it, isn't it?
This truck is for sale, and it's gonna have a brand new set of brakes and rotors.
And if you want to buy it, the information's down here on the bottom portion under where the description is.
You're going to want to speak to David or Elliot. Both of their contact information is going to be in the description. But let's go walk around this thing.
Let's go show them the truck. All right, there it is, Tommy.
Yes, sir. This is a 579 Ultraloft. The Ultraloft, the reason they call it that is because the fully integrated sleeper, it is not separated from each other. So the 579s originally, they separated cab and sleeper, and it was basically just kind of very, very similar to a 389, and that was one of the big aerodynamic complaints, and the square footage space complaints on the inside of it was having to walk through that little hole in the boot. It actually took up a lot of space, but now this is a fully integrated all the way top to bottom. This particular truck is Cummins powered, has a 10-speed transmission, and it's actually in really good shape for having 400,000 miles on it.
Yep, I've seen some trucks with 400,000 miles on it, and you wouldn't want to put your dog in it. And this one's really good shape, double bunk, real clean. It was obviously well taken care of. I mean, the seats aren't even beat up or nothing. And those are the I'm pretty sure those are the original seats.
You know, I learned something about these earlier. Watch this.
It's cooled.
You just hit this button once. It goes all the way down. It evacuates all the air.
Yeah.
Then when you get back in the truck, it goes back to its original position.
That's kind of nice.
I was thinking, wow, that's a super cool idea.
It's like having the, you know, you get one of them fancy trucks that has the memory seat buttons, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty clean truck. 404,000 miles on it. And, I mean, it hasn't been cleaned up. So if you can, I mean, like, there's some dirt in there. All that stuff's going to get cleaned up. But, I mean, for a truck that hasn't been cleaned up, this thing's,
it's in really good shape.
It really is.
Yeah, it's a North Carolina based truck. So.
Flex air suspension.
Good tires.
And there's the brake job y'all are about to get doing.
That's going to be fun and dirty.
I mean, this thing's super clean. It doesn't even have rust on it or nothing. I mean, like, this is it's a dang decent truck. All right, well, we got that covered.
You want to drive it around back? We'll pull it in.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Let's jump in.
Hey, Tommy, open the door.
The door was not unlocked.
Let me in. Oh. Okay.
The transmission is so much of it like a shorter throw on these than they are the three.
And it's an air assist clutch too, so like when you push the clutch in, it's like nothing. It's like driving a car.
It's pretty nice.
You look like you're sitting 10 feet up in the air right now.
You look like you're not.
I got all my air on my seat. There's so much room in here. Look, I'm 6 foot tall. And I'm standing up. Here, hold that. All right. I'm 6 feet. 6 feet. I can't touch the ceiling. Just saying. It's a lot of room.
There's a lot of space in there.
Yeah.
I'm holding the camera backhanded just so everybody knows why that was a terrible shot just there.
That was uncalled for and completely unnecessary.
All right, so we got the truck in the shop. Now, step number one is you got to take the wheels and tires off of it. I've been over here conversing with Hunter because he has got this one wheel already off. And I've actually started to learn something already. So, right here, first and foremost, you got to cage the brakes. So back here on the brake chambers, they got this bolt right there that comes with it from the factory. So you loosen this up and you actually stick it in that hole right there. It's going to look like this. When you get the bolt in, you twist it. You fasten the bolt all the way down, and what that's going to do is it's going to loosen the brakes on this particular hub here. So once you get that done, he says if it was a job where you were only doing, hold on, let's get you zoomed out. Said if it was a job where you were only doing brake pads, you can take this cover off and these brake pads will actually slide out from the back side here. But being that this disc brake system is around 400,000 miles, you typically are never doing the brake pads themselves without putting a rotor in as well. So it gets a little more complicated. So what we're gonna do, Hunter, if I remember correctly here, we're gonna take the cover off. We got to pull the axle out.
We're gonna pull the whole caliper off. Then we're gonna pull the axle out, take the whole drum off, and then you can change your rotor.
So you got to get to the rotor, which looks like bolted on behind the hub there, right?
Yep.
So it's actually a little more extensive process, but I guess the good news is you only have to do this like once every 400,000 miles or something, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to get after it. I've got the time lapse set. I'll be doing some updates kind of here and there, but all right, let's do this. so just in case you were wondering, the reason I'm not helping out pulling some of these parts off of this thing is because every single one of the parts in this brake job are extremely heavy. I just had back surgery about 5 weeks ago, so I'm still currently in the recovery process. I didn't think it was going to be all large parts whenever we agreed to do this brake job, so that's why I'm just kind of standing around watching Hunter doing what he does best. But I'm going to flip the camera around and kind of show you guys where we're at in the process here. All right, so what he just did there is he pulled the axle out of the rear end shaft. So the caliper is right there, and it actually sits right up here, and it bolts into the back side of it. So he has to pull this axle in order, there's a nut on the inside of there, and he's got to basically take off this entire chunk here. This whole hub has to come off, and then the rotor is bolted on from the back side. So that is the current step in this particular process. He's just waiting on this axle to drain out here, so that way we can pull this off without making too much of a mess. All right, so here's the hub assembly off, with everything off of it. And we'll zoom out a little bit here so you can catch it all. You call this an ABS ring?
Yeah, that's the tone ring. That's your ABS sensor reads.
Okay, so once he gets this ring off, and those got little star bits in them, then the hub is actually bolted to this, or not the hub, the disc for the disc brakes is actually bolted to the hub. All those big bolts down there. And then basically you just replace it while you're on the ground here, right? You just go ahead and put the new disc on, and then you can stick this whole hub assembly back together and then stick it back on the truck.
Yep.
Awesome. There we go. We are out with the old and in with the new. You can see kind of like this lip right here on this disc was the entire reason we needed to replace the disc. You said the brakes were really not in terrible shape, right? The pads?
Yeah, they still look good.
Must have done a pad job at some point in time. But just to be thorough, we're putting new brakes in, or we're putting new rotors and pads. We're still not reusing the old pads, even though they weren't in bad shape. Okay, so I mean, if we're doing one, might as well do the other, right?
Right.
We're already this far down. Okay, so the full assembly is now officially back on the truck. Nice new rotors. We got new brake pads, and you're about to fill it up full of grease. So he has to fill it back full of grease. That goes in the plug right here on the top side, and then they are ready to put the wheels and tires back on. Okay, so I see you put a new ABS plate on there, huh?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. If you guys are interested in this truck behind us, that's kind of the whole point of the video, is to let you guys know that we are affiliated with Fitzgerald Peterbilt, and we have a used truck department, and it's just something we've never actually mentioned on video before.
Not a whole lot. Way back when, like a year ago, more than a year ago, we had them 680s, and we were doing some stuff to them and kind of customized them out, and we had them for sale. But we didn't really, we've never done a whole lot. We've never really hit a home like, hey, we sell other stuff besides new trucks. But
yeah, so that was the point of this video. We're doing the brake job just so we could have some informative stuff, as well as let you guys know our used trucks are for sale. We have all the ones that you saw at our staging location, as well as this 579 Ultraloft. The information to buy used trucks is David and Elliot. It'll be in the description box below.
Yep. And I mean, other than that, like basically what we can take back from the brake job is every single one of the parts are really heavy.
They're super heavy, and they should not be lifted by anybody who's had recent back surgery.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting any of that. So I was thinking, like, I can change some brake pads and some rotors, like that'll be okay. But like,
Big deal.
yeah, but whenever I do it on like a car or regular pickup truck,
Yeah.
the rotors are floating. They come right off. You can unbolt them, and then you know, the calipers and everything like that, they all just come right off. And it's a quick, easy replacement. With the semi, I was a little.
Well, they're built to go 400,000 miles. You know, like
Yeah.
on a car, they don't go 400,000 miles. So
No,
they're more heavy duty, and they're put on in a way that you don't really have to worry about them coming loose or anything. I mean, they're built to go a lot further than a passenger car.
Yeah, and it makes everything super heavy. So the rotors were insanely heavy, which I could have handled the rotor, I think, by itself. But being that it came off with the hub and you have to pull the axle off and everything, yeah, that's the part that got me.
Yeah, it's not light. It's like 5 times the size. It's like 10 times the size of the brakes on your car.
Definitely.
So,
all right. Well, anyway, hope you guys learned something. I know I sure learned a lot today. Don't forget to drop us a like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram.
at Semi Casual Show.
And check out our website. We got all kinds of cool merchandise coming up every day. We got Peterbilt branded merchandise. We got the new Legendary shirts. It's all some really cool stuff.
We've got parts. We've got like the air dump kits. We've got the IFTA sticker brackets for dummy exhaust. We've got the hidden hood latch kits up there. We got a lot of different 389 parts up there, and I'm working on some new stuff's coming very soon. And like I'm not gonna say much. There's some really cool stuff's coming on the website really soon in the next couple of weeks, and there'll be a video on it and their parts, and I'm kind of excited about it.
A new thing that's about to get added literally today, I think, is a lime green semi-casual logo hat.
Nice.
Yeah, so we just now got those in. They're fresh. They're new.
Cool.
We're excited about those. But anyway, guys, I hope you liked the video. We'll see you next time.
Later.